Amazon is huge. For some, it is way too big. The company's size, power, and influence has become so significant that some feel such power is dangerous, and voices for a breakup are getting louder. But is that even possible? Let's take a look at how an Amazon breakup could look like. Right now, Jeff Bezos is at the top of the world. He's the richest person on Earth. Amazon is valued at over $1 trillion, and every second, $11,000 worth of goods are sold on the platform he created. In 2019, the company delivered 3.5 billion packages, one for every 2 people on the planet. It seems like there is nothing that Bezos and his company can't do. Sales reached $280 billion in 2019. This amount is so huge that if it was a country, it would have a GDP bigger than Pakistan or Finland, or Vietnam, or Romania, or, well, there are 166 countries in the world with a GDP smaller than $280 billion. But the continued astronomical growth and dominance of the marketplace has attracted unwanted scrutiny. Amazon has become too dominant. So much so that politicians, business owners, and former employees started to state publicly that the company shouldn't be allowed to exist in its current form. The firm is facing growing antitrust scrutiny, and the idea that it should be broken up has moved from the fringes to an accepted mainstream talking point. But is it even possible? How would it work? Let's take a look. But to understand how a possible Amazon breakup would work, we first need to know how the company is set up. From the $280 billion in revenues in 2019, $141 billion came from online store sales. $53 billion is generated from third-party sellers on the Amazon platform. The Amazon Web Services generate $35 billion of total revenues. Subscription services like Audible, Amazon Prime Video, and Music account for $19 billion. And $17 billion come from sales in brick-and-mortar stores, with the Whole Foods chain in the United States making up for most of it. Other areas like ad sales, for example, bring another $14 billion. Among analysts and industry experts, there are different ideas and solutions for a possible Amazon breakup. One of the most vocal supporters for reforming big tech is American Senator Elizabeth Warren, a former U.S. presidential candidate. She even announced a special plan to break up big tech companies during her campaign in 2019. According to her plan, 2 things need to be done. A. Amazon needs to stop selling its products on its platform. And B. It needs to give up some of its subsidiaries. Behind the calling for halting sales on its own platform is a series of accusations. Although officially against Amazon's policies, the Wall Street Journal has reported that the company's employees have used data from third-party sellers to pitch ideas for the private label business. The unfair scheme seems to work like this. An Amazon employee sees that a specific product is generating good sales and reviews. They would then inform the team on the Amazon Basics brand, which would develop a similar product. The new product would be placed ahead of the product on the Amazon website, most of the time with a killer discount, with just enough differences to avoid copyright infringement. Due to Amazon's size, there's no problem offering huge discounts, making it pretty much impossible for small companies to compete against Amazon brand products. Warren's breakup plan would make the scheme impossible. Not only Amazon, but all companies with revenues of $25 billion or more that offer an online marketplace would not be able to sell their own brands on the platform. Plus, these companies would be prohibited from transferring third-party data or using it to their advantage. Another point of the breakup plan would be giving up companies. Warren's plan envisions Amazon selling Whole Foods, the supermarket chain bought in 2017 for $14 billion, and Zappos, an e-commerce rival that was bought in 2010 for $1 billion. The Amazon that would exist after those changes would lose most of its $17 billion in revenues from brick-and-mortar stores and would probably generate less from its Amazon Basic brand. But these actions would hardly represent any threats for its existence or capability to keep growing. The situation might be different if it affects the company's lucrative web service division. Tim Bray, a former Amazon Web Service vice president, advocates that the company should be separated from its cloud business. He believes that the company should do that voluntarily before it is forced by antitrust authorities to change. After leaving the company in dispute, he posted a document online formulating a business case for breaking up the tech giant. He has also become one of Amazon's most critical voices. Bray writes in his text that spinning off the web service division could give the company an advantage, as the connection with Amazon limits its growth. There are reports that companies like Walmart, for example, have told their tech suppliers to stay away from Amazon Web Services, afraid of giving away too much information to a direct competitor. The Web Services unit already provides storage, database, and other cloud services for companies like Netflix, Zoom, and government institutions like the CIA, and it has huge growth potential. Analysts predict that less than 10% of the estimated $4 trillion in annual global IT spending has migrated to the cloud. What would Amazon look like if it is forced to divest itself of its web service division? Let's take a look. Taking into consideration 2019 data, the sales would fall from $280 to $245.4 billion, and operating income would drop from $14.5 billion to $5.4 billion. Share value and market capitalization would also be affected, as this would mean the company loses its most profitable unit. Some analysts predict that the Web Services division could account for up to 1/3 of Amazon's market value. All that doesn't appear to be an advantage, right? So why would Amazon give up its most profitable unit voluntarily? Because it might not have another option. As Tim Bray pointed out, the beating of the antitrust drums is getting louder, and the company could end up in a better position if it decides to proactively spin off the web service, as opposed to under hostile pressure from Washington. This scenario allows them to retain control and, in a way, regulate themselves and minimize the risks. Another possible advantage of a breakup would be optimization. Some analysts believe that unproductive bureaucracy and politicizing are already a reality within the company, and that Amazon is much more worried about lobbying than actual innovation. As a result, a more streamlined, focused company would be more attractive to investors. But is there a realistic chance that antitrust authorities will force an Amazon breakup? Amazon's giant proportions will probably not be an issue. No company can be punished just because it's too big, but there are factors that could have consequences for the tech giant. Broadly defined, a monopoly is the capacity to control prices and exclude the competition, and some argue that Amazon, right now, would be able to do both in the United States. But a dominant position in the market is not illegal. It becomes illegal when it relies on what specialists call exclusionary conduct. That includes actions such as predatory pricing, exclusive agreements, refusing to deal with a specific company, designing products, or providing services in a way that excludes competition. Has Amazon done that? According to some publications, the Federal Trade Commission investigators have been speaking with Amazon's suppliers and found indications that Amazon abused its power over them. But this still needs to be proved. It's hard to predict what the results of the investigation will mean to the future of Amazon, but the company seems to be aware of the fact that tough times may lie ahead. The giant tech dedicated 10 pages to its 2019 financial report to explain the risk factors that the company is facing, pointing to government investigations as one of them. The outcome of these matters is inherently unpredictable and subject to significant uncertainties, the report stated. It is also important to note that not only the United States has focused on Amazon's practices. The European Commission is also investigating whether Amazon has used data from retailers to its advantage, thereby breaking EU laws. The truth is that many questions still lie ahead. Depending on the results of all investigations, Amazon as we know it today might soon be something of the past. Until then, Bezos continues to sit at the top. Time will tell for how much longer. So that's it for this video. What lies ahead for Amazon? With the investigations ongoing, this is probably not the last time you'll hear about this topic. We hope you like this video and subscribe to our channel.